It's you and me conquering the best rides in Disney World for 2025. Ready to see if one of your favorites, or soon-to-be favorites, made today's top 10 list? Then keep watching to find out. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Vlog. Disney World has so many rides between all four parks, but there are some rides that you're going to experience during your next visit that'll just mean even more to you if you experience them this year. So today's video is going to highlight the top 10 Disney World rides of the new year, featuring new experiences, fresh additions, and some tearful goodbyes. Starting out with Kilimanjaro safaris at Animal Kingdom. I know, are you surprised? I thought you might be. Did you want me to elaborate on it? Alrighty then. Kilimanjaro Safaris over in the Africa section of Animal Kingdom is an 18-minute expedition that takes you through the park's savannas to see a variety of animals up close and personal, including elephants and giraffes and alligators and lions and more. But the reason we keep jumping back onto this ride over and over again recently is because there's a high chance we're going to see new baby animals out on the savannah. Like Cora, for instance. Cora is the youngest elephant out on Kilimanjaro. In fact, she just turned 1 not too long ago, and Disney threw her a party complete with all of Cora's favorite foods like sweet potato and bamboo and peanut butter. Yum, me too, Cora. I love peanut butter. Needless to say, she was pretty thrilled by all of this, and why shouldn't she be? We are thrilled for her too. The most recent additions to Kilimanjaro safaris, though, aren't baby animals, but they are still youngins, young lions to be exact. The previous lions that used to live on Kilimanjaro grounds have now gone off to retirement, and 3 new lion siblings have taken their spots, named Mashingo, Zahara, and Nima. Disney hopes that when these young ones get a little older, they'll be able to mingle with another pride and help strengthen the future of the lion population. But for now, they're just over there spiriting Simba and working on their roar. Remember, Kilimanjaro Safaris closes before the rest of the park does, typically around 5 p.m. or earlier. So you're going to want to check on this ride's updated times via your My Disney Experience app to make sure you don't miss it during your next visit. Next up is Star Tours at Hollywood Studios. We are giving Star Tours some extra love and appreciation in 2025, y'all. This past April, Star Tours over in Hollywood Studios received a major update. Now you've got the potential of encountering new characters and lands straight out of 3 of the most successful Star Wars shows on Disney+, Ahsoka, Andor, and The Mandalorian. When these scenes were initially introduced, Disney locked them in place for a couple of months so everyone could experience the same new storylines. However, once June rolled around, Star Tours went back to being a fully randomized experience, with the new Disney Plus scenes integrated into the randomization sequences. So, next time you ride Star Tours, if you didn't get any of these new scenes, just hop back in line. The line never gets very long for Star Tours. That way you can see all kinds of new stuff. Okay, here I am cheating just a little bit because there are 2 rides I want to shout out in this point, reflecting the 2 new park lounges themed after classic Disney rides coming onto the scene in 2025. First, and probably the one I'm most excited for, is the Spaceship Earth Lounge coming to Epcot and slated to open in late spring 2025. The space's sleek look will be inspired by the stories and shapes and enduring legacy of that park icon, the geodesic sphere, that beautiful big golf ball that everybody knows and loves. There's lots of decor that's going to draw inspiration from the geodesic sphere, and the lounge's purpose is to offer a zen space to guests. Love that. Can't be upset about that. Filled with rich textures and warm metallic tones to give the lounge more of a mysterious and elegant intimacy. Sounds kind of fancy. Now, I can picture it. I'm legit going to have full Epcot days where all I do is attractions themed around that beautiful giant golf ball-like structure. I'm going to ride Spaceship Earth, go to the Spaceship Earth Lounge, ride Spaceship Earth again just to make sure I properly thank the Phoenicians, and then stay late enough that I can watch Spaceship Earth's rotating projection shows. Maybe I'll watch one from the front of the park and another one from the World Celebration Gardens with all the illuminating paths just to switch things up a little bit. I cannot wait. And then there's Magic Kingdom's Pirates of the Caribbean Tavern, which is slated to open in late 2025, which I am also pretty stinking excited for. Here, pirates of all ages can gather and swap seafaring stories while bark Parker Bird, also known as Pegleg Pete, greets guests who wander in from the Adventureland streets. The Pirates of the Caribbean themed space will serve a variety of food and beverage options, and according to Disney, we should also expect some magical surprises in store. This is going to be another fun ride and lounge combo. You go on the Pirates of the Caribbean boat ride, and then you swing on by the lounge to tell all the tavern folk what happened. Once we know more about both of these lounges' specifics, I'll make sure to update y'all ASAP, because I wouldn't be surprised if, much like Oga's Cantina and Hollywood Studios, you're going to need to make an advanced dining reservation or at least have a good game plan for both of these. In fact, I might even bet on it. Our next ride, Soaring Around the World in Epcot. So gone are the days of the Eiffel Tower looking all messed up. Soaring Around the World is now sharper and better than ever before. If you've ridden Soarin' anytime in the past few years and did not sit in the middle row, you'll likely notice that in the Paris scene, the Eiffel Tower curved heavily to the side, looking more like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. However, back in November, one of our DFB reporters went on the ride and was seated in Section C, row 1, furthest to the side. And yet, the Eiffel Tower no longer looked all that bendy. But wait, there's more. The final Soarin' scene has also been updated to show Epcot in its current transformed state. Even without these updates, I would still recommend Soarin' because I just really like this ride and especially like the soundtrack. But if you're traveling with someone who has a fear of heights, keep in mind that although this is a screen-based attraction to simulate the feeling of flying, you're still going to be lifted pretty high in the air. But you'll be perfectly safe up there with just a light, very light movement and no sudden thrills, unless you call a bald eagle flying right up past your face a thrill, which, yeah, that little dude does get up all in your personal bubble. But anyway, Soarin' looks much better than it has for years. Definitely go check it out. Now, am I cheating by adding 2 rides into 1 point again? Maybe, just don't go snitching on me. Recently, Disney's been testing out some new single rider lines to give us another free option for potentially cutting down on those ride wait times, and I definitely want to tell you about both of them. So far, we've seen single rider lines in testing over at Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in Epcot. Now, because these single rider lines are still in the experimentation stage, they're not guaranteed to be open while you're visiting, but it's always worth double checking on them anyway, because if the single rider line is open, you could very well cut down on some of the longest ride lines across both parks. The main downside, single rider lines will break up your group, so it's not a great strategy if you've got younger riders with you, or if you were just really wanting to experience these e-ticket attractions alongside your favorite people, instead of with a vehicle full of strangers. To be fair, single rider isn't a new concept to the Disney scene by any means. You can commonly find single rider lines over at attractions like Expedition Everest in Animal Kingdom, Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios, and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run in Hollywood Studios as well. Test Track in Epcot also used to have a single rider option before its re-theme, so hopefully that'll return along with the new version. Plus, we've also seen Soarin' in Epcot test out a single rider option in the past, so that might pop up again during your next visit too. Maybe. But just recently, Smuggler's Run started experimenting with a new to Disney World queue concept, the double rider queue. This works exactly how you think it'll work. Instead of potentially bypassing over a bulk of the queue all by your lonesome, you get to partner up with a buddy and become a party of 2 that still gets to use the single rider line option. If you want to try the double rider line on for size, I'd highly recommend asking the cast member at the front of the attraction first to make sure this is still a viable option during your trip. If it is, go ahead and jump into the single rider line with your ride buddy in tow. Looking for other ways to help you knock out ride lines minus strictly relying on those single rider queues? I've got you. Scan the QR code you see on the screen now or head over to disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyRides, and we're going to send you our free guide that'll help you conquer every single Disney World ride during your next visit and keep those waiting times down. Next is Tron Light Cycle Run. Now, I'd consider Tron over at Magic Kingdom to be a combo between Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind and Rock and Roller Coaster in Hollywood Studios. It's smooth, it's thrilling, it's got a high-speed launch, but no upside-down loop-de-loops or intense drops, and it's just a good time all around. Is it short? Absolutely. It's like 1 minute long, but it's still thrilling, especially if you're able to ride it at night when the grid lights up. When Tron first opened back in 2023, it opened with a virtual queue system, which means you had to save your spot in line via the My Disney Experience app, and you couldn't enter a traditional physical queue for it. But back in early September 2024, Tron officially switched over from having a virtual queue to a standby one, so you no longer have to worry about jumping on the My Disney Experience app to save your spot in line at either 7 a.m. or 1 p.m. Just go get in line. Per the release of this video, virtual queues still have to be used for a couple of Disney World rides, Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Cosmic Rewind. But you can learn more about how those work over on our DFB virtual queue page. Just type in DisneyFoodblog.com and virtual queues into your browser and our post will pop up on the top of the screen. Also, keep in mind that Tron is the only ride in Disney World that requires you to put bags and purses in a complimentary locker before you ride. You can unlock any locker with the touch of your Magic Band or ticket, but if you're relying on Magic Mobile tickets via your phone, a cast member is going to have to hook you up with a temporary locker card, and you can return it after your ride. There is a small compartment on the ride vehicle that can store items like phones and glasses and wallets, but anything larger than that is going to have to get cozy in the lockers. Tiana's Bayou Adventure opened on June 28, 2024, making it the newest ride in all of Disney World, for now. So if you didn't get a chance to check it out in 2024, that means 2025 is your time to join in on all the Mardi Gras fun. But what can you expect to find on this new Princess and the Frog themed log flume? Just to catch you up to speed, it seems that all of Princess Tiana's culinary dreams have come true. We are so proud of her for that. Tiana is extremely grateful to her New Orleans community for helping make her restaurant a roaring success. So just to give her people a big old thank you, she's planning a massive Mardi Gras party with lots of yummy food and dancing and, of course, music. Oh, wait a minute. Where's the music? Looks like Tiana and her alligator pal Louis are gonna have to gather up a band to pull this whole shindig off. Throughout the ride, you'll encounter impressive animatronics featuring new and classic Princess and the Frog characters, including the magical Mama Odie, who'll shrink you down to track down fireflies, I suppose. This section of the story gets a little woozy, but it's colorful and it's fun. Currently, you will need a virtual queue to experience this ride, but considering the fact that Disneyland's version of Tiana's Bayou Adventure no longer uses a virtual queue system, I have a sneaking suspicion Magic Kingdoms might very well ditch theirs as well sometime this year, but we'll keep you updated just as soon as we learn the truth, one way or another. You can also grab a lightning lane. Okay, last call for Dinosaur. I repeat, last call to go get that dino. Dinosaur is a thrilling adventure where you're sent into the prehistoric era via time rover to track down an iguanodon for Dr. Seeker for reasons unbeknownst to us, but I guess we're blindly going to trust that Seeker knows what he's doing here. This isn't a roller coaster per se, but it's also not your average slow-going dark ride. Instead, you'll be jostled around the track thanks to quick turns, bumps in the road, and, casually dodging a meteor or two. No biggie. This has been a popular ride over in Animal Kingdom for many, many, many years now, but it seems that its reign of Carnotaurus terror is about to end. Currently, Animal Kingdom is starting to transition over from Dinoland USA and into Pueblo Esperanza, which will be the park's big Tropical Americas themed area slated to officially open by 2027. And that means we've already had to say goodbye to some long-standing Dinoland locations, like Triceratops Spin, Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures, and Fossil Fun Games. The good news about Dinoland for 2025, however, is that the dinosaur attraction itself will remain open for the rest of the year, so there's a good chance you'll still be able to experience this one final ride through before it takes its last journey into history. But after 2025, Dinosaur is going to be heading to that big meteor crater in the sky to make way for a brand new Indiana Jones dark ride. Okay, everybody, start your engines. It's been a while since we've been able to hop onto Test Track over at Epcot, since it's been closed for some major renovations since June 17th, 2024. But in summer of 2025, we will finally be able to hop back on and listen to that engine purr. Walt Disney Imagineering is collaborating with Chevrolet to update this ride and make its new focus all about the past, present, and future of transportation. Disney confirmed that the queue will feature 6 distinct exhibits, and within each exhibit, you'll learn about different vehicles as well as the people behind the creation of those. But within the ride itself, Imagineers are currently busy adding new show scenes that are going to showcase technological advances that illustrate how our lifestyles and relationships to mobility connect everyone. That is very edutainment language, Disney. I know, still pretty vague, but I'm intrigued regardless. When Test Track does reopen, just make sure you're all squared away on how Disney's virtual queue system works. If history repeats itself, which it may, Disney's been using virtual queues for all their brand new attractions ever since Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios back in 2019 to help with crowd control. Not sure they're going to use one for Test Track, but just in case they do, it's good to be knowledgeable about it. But then again, you might also just be able to purchase lightning lanes for this ride too. Before Test Track closed, you could snag lightning lanes for it via the regular multi-pass purchase, but I'll let you know if that's still going to be the case once we learn more closer to the official opening date. By the way, if you're not on our newsletter, please join our newsletter. The link to sign up is right in the description. It's totally free, and that's where you're going to get the news first about when this ride is going to reopen. Okay, listen. You gotta hear me out with this one. I know People Mover isn't the most exciting Magic Kingdom ride out there, especially when you consider it's in the same land as coasters like Tron and Space Mountain. But I love the People Mover, y'all. You know this. I love it with every fiber of my being. It's just a nice, easygoing train ride above Tomorrowland that you rarely ever have to wait in a long line for. Not saying you never have to wait, but on average, it's about 5 to 10 minutes. Once you're on the ride, you can kick up your feet and rest a bit while going in and out of the tunnels that take you on a relaxing little tour above and through various Tomorrowland attractions. It's so zen and so chill. It will definitely make your Magic Kingdom day better no matter what. People Mover has been part of the Magic Kingdom since 1975, but if we learned anything in 2024, it's that nothing is safe from being reimagined in Disney World. Absolutely nothing. So this is my request to you from the president of the People Mover fan club. Ride this ride, enjoy it, post about how much you enjoy it, show Disney that this ride doesn't deserve the same treatment that it received over in Disneyland back in the day, which is a whole different story I'm not going to get into, but let's just say Disneyland's People Mover did not survive its major renovations from way back when. Now, don't take this the wrong way, though. People Mover's not going anywhere at the moment, thank goodness, as far as we know, but I want to make this a top ride at Disney World for 2025, just to keep it that way. Okay. I can't wrap up this list just yet. I wouldn't feel right without highlighting a few honorable mentions. So, we're going to start with water rides. All through 2025, you're going to be able to visit one of the Disney water parks without having to worry about paying $74 per person to go to them. Anyone staying at any of the Disney-owned hotels, including Disney Vacation Club properties, will receive free tickets to water parks for everyone on the hotel reservation on their check-in day. You know what that means? Lots of water rides! Just keep in mind that there are some restrictions for this new benefit. First of all, you'll be able to use this perk at either Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon, but probably not both because they're usually not both open. So whichever water park is open, that's the one you get to go to. Secondly, tickets are pursuant to availability. So if the water park is closed for cold or bad weather, like it's been at the beginning of January here, there's no rain check. You just won't be able to go. And third, you can only use your free water park privilege on your hotel check-in day. Granted, you don't have to check into your hotel just yet in order to use the water park perk, so you could technically just hop over to the water park just as soon as you cross into the Disney bubble that day. But if you need to drop off your luggage before you start enjoying all that free water park goodness, you can still swing by your hotel first thing in the morning, even before your room is ready for you, and ask Bell Services to hold on to your stuff. Moving on to Muppet Vision 3D. I know it's not a ride, that's why I'm making it an honorable mention, because I still think it deserves to be prioritized this year, y'all. Muppet Vision 3D, as well as the rest of the Muppets Courtyard inside Hollywood Studios, will be closing to make way for that brand new Monsters, Inc. land. But here's the good news. The Muppets aren't getting completely kicked out of Hollywood Studios, thank goodness. Instead, they'll be revamping the current Rock and Roller Coaster ride now that Aerosmith's contract is up with Disney. The Muppets will be teaming up with some of music's biggest stars for a rock and music festival and bringing us a reimagined ride with what Disney says is laughter, screams, and new tunes for fans to enjoy throughout the adventure. We don't have any closure dates yet or official opening dates for any of these attractions just yet, but we're going to keep you on the loop just as soon as we know more, because you are subscribed to our newsletter, right? Right. Next is Flight of Passage. There's nothing really new about Flight of Passage, and it's definitely not on the brink of getting kicked out of the park since it's literally the most popular ride in Animal Kingdom right now. But Bria and I were talking about this list, and we thought Flight of Passage at least deserved some sort of shout out, just because we both love it a whole lot. Flight of Passage is a 4D attraction that puts you on the back of your very own Banshee so you can fly through the vibrant world of Pandora. This is the ride that impressed my mom, my 82-year-old mom, the most of any ride she rode in Disney World. I don't think her brain still has gotten itself around how incredible this ride is. Now, full warning, the wait times for this one can be brutal, even at the start of the day. But since there aren't very many rides in Animal Kingdom to begin with, you should be able to get on this one okay without having to sacrifice another attraction to make it happen. Or you can always purchase a single pass lightning lane, which costs an a la carte price per ride per person, if you'd rather skip over the main queue entirely. Okay, y'all, I'm turning things over to you now. Whether you've been to Disney World before or you're planning on going for the first time soon, what would you consider to be your top ride picks for each park? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to pick up our free guide to help you ride everything in Disney World during your next vacation over at disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyRides. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.